You better get back!
Just who the hell do you think I am?
Hey everybody, what is up? And welcome to another, I guess, anime vlog per se. And last year I did my thoughts on My Hero Academia Season 2 so far when I reached halfway through the season. And since the My Hero Academia dub has reached its two-week hiatus, as well as soon, in a few weeks, the sub will have a 1-week hiatus, and we're at episode 11, which is essentially close to the halfway mark. I feel like now it's a pretty good time to go ahead and talk about Season 3 of my boy Deku's journey to be the greatest hero of all time. My Hero Academia has consistently gotten better and better with every single season, and in my opinion, Season 3 really isn't any different. It improves the weakest element of Season 2, in my opinion, which was the villains. There is so much focus on the villains in this season, and they all are really great. They have really awesome designs. Their personalities shine through a bit. The way they talk and kind of bicker a little bit is also very interesting. We learn more about their plans and their motivations. And we finally get to see one of the most hyped up villains of the series all for one. And that is a wonderful and awesome moment, but I'll get to that later. Aside from episode 1, every episode far has been exciting, thrilling, or extremely engaging. Like episode 1 kind of sucked. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. It was meh, I guess. It was filler, and I didn't see the point of it, but every single episode so far has been fantastic. I love seeing these characters evolve and learn as time goes by, and we get so much more of that in this season as we see the bits of the training camp, just of them learning how to use their quirks, as well as a lot more combat against villains, since before we only got to see a few characters go up against villains, but now we get to see like all of them go up against some major villains and interact and try and figure out how do we get through this. And it's really interesting to see, because having them go through this like serious situation and try to think off the fly and be heroes is really interesting. And even though the camp stuff is a tad bit short, it still is nice to see them, you know, try to flesh out them learning. And speaking of the characters, there are so many great character moments to discuss here. I love how Ida has kind of shown how much he's changed since the Stain incident. His integrity has definitely taken a lot more hold of him, and when the other characters decide to try and go off, he is one of the voices that says no, and the only reason he'll go along is because he wants to make sure they don't get hurt. Some people might be saying that's like, oh, he's going to break in his rule, but I don't know. I feel like he knows it's better to go off with them than not to. Todoroki continues to open up to everyone after he got that much-needed talking to in Season 2, and I love how he's just slowly but surely becoming a much more reliable force for all our main characters. He's becoming a happier character, and I do really like seeing that, because he started off as just kind of like very quiet, very in on the side character, and he's slowly become like a favorite. He's one of my favorites. And Midoriya, he's still my boy, and he defeats a villain all on his own. Congratulations, Deku! He defeated Muscular, and that was an awesome fight. We'll get more to that in a bit. Bakugo even has some great character moments. The arc of him getting captured was pretty great for me, as he actually has like 2 really powerful moments of him like kind of, I guess in my opinion, seeming like he's trying to soften up a bit. The first one is when he's getting taken away into the portal, when he tells Deku to stay away. Some people might say like, oh, he's saying like, no, Deku, don't help me, you weakling. But I think I interpret it as like, no, Deku, don't get captured too. Like, he's showing some kind of concern for his classmate. And the other one was during the rescue, when he trusts Kirishima and grabs his hand. He might not admit it, but he's saying, you know, he's relying on them in that moment. And that was really great. And hopefully we get to see a bit more of Uraraka and Momo. Momo specifically has some really standout moments since the halfway point of Season 2. Like, she's had some really fun moments, and I love when they're going out to go save Bakugo, and she's the one that's like, oh, let's get disguises, and she's just, and her like, they're like, couldn't you just make these? And she's like, no, we have to support the economy, and they're like, oh, the rich girl wanted to buy clothes, huh? And I don't know, it's kind of funny. I like Momo. I want to see more of her. And Uraraka I really like too, and she got some really great moments in Season 2, but so far she hasn't really shined all that much in Season 3, unfortunately. She's only had like a moment here and there. Hopefully we get to see more of her soon. The fighting is still really great. Like My Hero Academia has such a great track record for its battles, as they're very flashy, but they're also very emotional. And these fights also have a lot more stakes in them now because of the increased villain attacks. Deku versus Muscular, as I said before, was really great. And a lot of manga readers said it was rushed, but I don't care. It was hype as hell, and a really great character moment for Deku as he finally defeats a villain on his own and like pushes himself farther than he's really ever gone before, even against Todoroki, and that was really awesome to see. Like there are many battles against other villains too, like the triple fight of Koji, Todoroki, and Deku versus the villains was really great, and it just kind of gives you this idea of how like the villains work as a unit and how the heroes are like starting to learn to cooperate and work together as heroes. And one thing that Season 3 builds on really well is, well, the world building. Season 1 established this as a very, very competitive world. First come, first serve. But it never really showed that in a super good way. And Season 3 kind of continues the whole track of teamwork is best. Because every single major victory is from teamwork or people willingly putting themselves in harm's way for another person. It's kind of building its world as, oh, this is the established rule. Like, students can't use their quirks. They should let the heroes take care of it. But it's not always right. And I really do like how they kind of show that the system isn't horrible, but it has a lot of flaws to it. And then we get to All Might versus All for One. The great part is this was built up just enough, because if you look at like a lot of other anime, usually they'll build up like a major villain a little early on, or at least a midway on, and then when that hero and villain fight, it's way later. And a lot of people are like, well, yeah, it's kind of like the final thing, but I feel like when it's built up so much and then takes so long to get there, everything else in between feels meaningless. But here, I don't think so. I think there was just enough time for when All for One was discussed and shown, and we felt the weight and tension of this character's identity. But also short enough so that way we wouldn't get too impatient, and there was still enough weight to when it got to this duel. And the tension and drama is definitely there, and All for One is a very interesting villain. He's kind of like a reverse father for Shigaraki. He's very, very soft, and he does all the work. Pretty much like the opposite of All Might and Deku, where All Might like pushes Deku a lot and tells him he needs to do stuff on his own, but you also feel like there's, still a lot of caring to it. He's really intriguing as a character. He doesn't seem like too ruthless and pure evil like a lot of big shonen baddies. He's kind of like a leader with a cause against like a society that they see as unjust, or at least that's how it seems so far. I don't know if he'll change or if he'll appear again, because if you haven't seen the season, he kind of loses All Might and gets arrested, and I don't know if he appears again. He might break out or get rescued. I don't know, but we might see more of him. I hope we see more of him in the future, because he's a really interesting character. And then we get to the fight. This fight was so good. It was flashy. It was emotional. It was well animated. The line work and the character designs and the scenes were amazing. It was just a breathtaking battle, and one I've gone back to several times to watch, just kind of like soak it in, because it still gives me like chills on the back of my neck. And it is a very defining and amazing point for All Might, who, despite losing his quirk, is still like an amazing character. Like, it shows All Might is willing to go so far to protect the people he cares about, and we get to learn more about him. We learn more about his teacher, Shimura. Her last name is Shimura, the previous holder of One for All. And I kind of hope we see a little more of her, because it'd be interesting to think about what All Might and Shimura's relationship was, because it seems like he looked up to her so much, because when we learn that Shigaraki is Shimura's grandson, he's like destroyed. He's like, what would she think? No! What am I doing? Like, and that was really interesting to see, because we've never seen like All Might kind of like emotionally break. And that just kind of like hints at this powerful relationship that these two had. And I want to see more of that. It's a lot of things I want to see more of. And I think that's a good thing, because Season 3 is only halfway done, and we still have a lot of chances to see a lot of the things that I want to. And the fact that I want more instead of wanting less, when we've already gotten so much, is a good thing, because it shows like, oh yeah, it's giving me so much, but like I've gotten used to getting so many great things, and I'm like, okay, come on, keep going, keep the train going. Also, the All Might versus All for One battle has probably the best moment in the series so far.
United States of
I don't give a shit who you are. That moment is fucking fantastic. And the dub for My Hero Academia is still really good. Every voice actor is fantastic. Christopher Sabat is still amazing as All Might. Justin Briner is still my boy Deku, and he is fantastic. And every voice is really great. Like, it's one of the greatest dubs ever. I might even say it's one of the top 2 greatest dubs I've ever heard. It is so good. And I'm just really excited to see more of My Hero Academia Season 3. Even though I have to wait 2 weeks, I've got these last 11 episodes have been, aside from episode 1, have been so fucking awesome that I'm willing to wait 10 episodes, because I feel like I'm spoiled and I'm just getting off of like an amazing drug high. And I cannot wait to see more, and I also cannot wait for the movie to come out. I might do a review of that sometime, and there will be another My Hero Academia video coming up soon, as well as a review of Season 1, and then a review of Season 2 coming up once I get a hand of Season 2's box set, because I currently have only Season 1. So we'll only be able to review Season 1. But those are my thoughts on My Hero Academia Season 3 so far. Fucking great season. Best season of the show so far. And I feel like this might be one of those ones where, like, as seasons go by, it gets like 4, 5, and 6. Season 3 might still be like a favorite for a lot of people, and I could totally see that. So I haven't read the manga, so I don't know what's coming in the future. But my friends who have read the manga told me, oh yeah, it continues to be awesome, and I'm really happy about that. And I can't wait for more great things from My Hero Academia. So fucking excited. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out my videos. Also make sure to check out my supporters, all that great stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.